One important lesson about life is that life is not fair. Sometimes you're a baby bird up in a nest, safely sitting high above the rest, and sometimes you're just a stupid egg laid at the bottom of a chair, and there's really nothing you can do about it. So, think about that. Good morning, my name is Benjamin Mohler. I'm a paleontologist, and I would never drunkenly slander the good name of Struthiomimus over a heated board game moment. Today is day 8 of the Menefee expedition, and there's lots of stuff going on, so I'm going to defer to my principal investigator, Dr. Andrew McDonald, to explain what the crew's up to today.
Hello everyone, I'm Andrew McDonald. I'm the curator at the Western Science Center. And as Ben said, it's a very busy time here in the Menefee Formation in New Mexico. We've got multiple sites in progress right now where we're digging up well-preserved isolated dinosaur bones, material of crocodilians, as well as many, many turtles. And the turtles are really emerging as one of the most detailed stories that we can put together here in the Menefee. Our collaborators, Dr. Heather Smith and Brent Adrian, have identified at least 9 or 10 different turtle taxa, including several that we have found for the first time on this very trip, such as this one that we're working on right here. This is a partial shell of a very large turtle called Basilames. And this is a turtle that we had never found in the Menefee before. And on this trip, we have found 2 occurrences of it. One was a series of fragments, but with telltale morphology indicating that it's Basilames. This appears to be a partial shell, shattered into pieces in the ground, but we'll be able to put it back together and learn more about this giant turtle.
And the site's also been producing croc teeth and theropod teeth, which, as I mentioned, will not be showed on camera, but we know that they're here. And lots of other cool spots. So every time we come here and pull out mudstone, it's like pulling up something on a fishing line, which is why we call it the fishing hole. So that's what we're up to today.
It works.
Testing out power tools today, huh?
Yeah. This is where we try everything.
What fresh hell is going on here, Pops?
Well, son of mine, this is a freshly patented device that we call the Beautiful Analytical Bone Sensor, or, depending on the audience, the Badass Bone Sensor. We actually did just get a patent on this, basically creating a multiple Geiger counter experience where we use either advanced analytics or machine learning to take multiple Geiger counters, in this case 6 of them, and have them work in collaboration to become more sensitive for detecting radiation. We have found that there is radiation in fossils. Now this area doesn't have much, it's almost stone cold. There's a light amount of beta radiation coming out, so we're not hopeful we're actually going to be able to use this device in this formation, or at least in this section, but we still thought we'd bring it out and try it. We have brought it to the Morrison, and we've been able to detect things in the Morrison because that material is a lot hotter.
Awesome. And who's been working on that project with you?
Well, today I have Brayton, who's been helping me as a field researcher, looking at the data. We have Derek, who's one of the patent inventors with me. And somewhere around here we have Merlin and Jessica, who are also patent examiners. I'm blessed to be around a lot of smart people. Derek's with Lawrence Livermore. Merlin just completed their master's in GIS and works on NASA projects. And Jessica, Dr. Jessica, is also with NASA. So I've got some smart people helping me with this.
Awesome. Listen to that guy click away. Now, what are we hearing when we hear that click?
One of the tubes, just for snazziness, is wired up to a little piezoelectric speaker. So every time you hear a little pop, that's a gamma event or a beta event occurring in one of the tubes. We've got it wired up, I think, to tube number 1 or 2. So it's just more to kind of give you that that feedback that something's going on. And then this guy will then generate z-scoring in the field for quick analysis and Poisson equation. And then we can take all the raw data back into the labs and run machine learning algorithms. At some point, we'll advance to the point where we can actually do that in the field.
Sweet. Okay. All right. Explain to me what you've done. What is this?
We were digging out a turtle, and I was taking a little break.
Mm-hmm.
I looked over, and I saw a weird texture poking out from under a rock, and I thought, is that a weird bug or something? So I flipped over the rock, and it was a big tooth.
This is from a very big croc, probably Deinosuchus. You can tell it's croc and not dinosaur. If I can get my camera to focus, it'll show you. Those vertical striations on the teeth is a telltale sign of an animal used to eating slippery food. This is a big croc tooth. Thanks.
You're welcome, anytime.
So we returned to this spot. This is where we flipped that jacket just a couple days ago, and where that Deinosuchus tooth just came out of. And you can even see the impression of where that tooth was and all those striations that were preserved in the mudstone. So that's pretty cool. So we're gonna keep going through the refuse and probably try to re-exhume parts of this hill, because that dinosaur bone came out of that little part right there. So this hill is not long for this world. It's been a long, hard day out in the field. We put in quite a few hours and gotten a lot of progress done on the fishing hole and a couple of other spots. But we're getting ready to turn in so we can clean up and head into town to get a nice big meal to refresh ourselves so we can continue working and say goodbye to the volunteers that are on their way out. All right, guys, to the bone quest. Cheers.